welcome to another Creator Chat. I am Moni Barrett. I am a comics librarian and co-founder of Creators Assemble Inc., which is a nonprofit that raises awareness of the value of pop culture and education. We provide support to educators who use materials in educational settings. We also facilitate connections and resources to help creators find professional opportunities in this space, which is why we're here with an illustrator, an author, and a photographer. Let's figure out who's who. So hello to you both.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello there.
So please introduce yourselves and what you're here to talk about today. And if you want to include one funny or interesting fact about yourself, that would be great too. Anything you want the audience to know about you.
Well, Ben, did you want me to go first?
Yes, Tim, go ahead. Since you're the author, you go first.
Hello. My name is Timothy Mountain. I am a newly author of a kid's book right here. It's called The Blue-Footed Lark at Balboa Park. I currently work for the San Diego Public Libraries. And when I'm not doing anything like that and helping out people and answering questions, I'm going on paranormal investigations.
And Bernard?
Hi guys, my name is Bernard Cayetano. I was born in the Philippines. I traveled and moved here in California when I was 9. I am 30 years of age this year. So I work with Timothy Mountain at the San Diego Public Library. I am a Reiki practitioner, level 1, as well as an ordained minister. I also in the San Diego Public Library Pride Committee. So yeah, that's something a little bit about me.
You are a friend of all trades. I love it. It's very
you.
Interesting. Both of you, it's like so practical you seem, and yet, you know, all the fun, Reiki and paranormal. Tim and I had a meet cute because we were at were we in Northern California? Was that where we were?
Burbank.
We were in Burbank. Okay, it feels like it was really farther than that. Anyway, we were in Burbank for a library training, and I got kind of stranded. I would have had to wait like another 4 hours or something after to start getting on a train, and didn't know that we were both from the San Diego area. So we hopped in the car at peak traffic, not really knowing each other, and had lots in common with the paranormal interests and the library interests. So yeah, and then we started Creators Assemble. He was one of the first to do a photography. Actually, you were one of only 2 photographers in the whole book, I think, for our nonprofit book. Our other one too was specifically a toy photographer. So he does really cool, like Star Wars, where it looks like the actual movie, but it's toys. Anyway, so all that to say is that's how we came to meet. And then that's how we found out about your wonderful book and about Ben over here. So really happy to have you both.
Thank you.
So tell the audience, I haven't got my hands on it yet. What is your book about?
Go ahead, Tim. Take it away.
Well, this book was, the story actually was written over 20 years ago, back in the 90s. I had a little bit of a field trip at Balboa Park and was walking around looking at all the places. And if you haven't been to Balboa Park, it's a wonderful place to go. There's just so much history and so much beauty that's just locally centralized in one place. I strongly recommend you go there. But what it is I found out what was going on with the park, and I came up with a story about a little bird that lived at the zoo who escapes his confines and travels around and explores Balboa Park. The thing about it is that all the places that are listed in the book, you can travel to yourself. All you have to do is just get in a car, head for Balboa Park. On the back is a map of where the bird goes, and his name is Bobby, Bobby the Lark. He also happens to be in certain places where you might recognize a place or two, and you can definitely blow a little kid's mind with the book.
Oh, I'm definitely going to need to take my kids there as a refresher for the summer, and then I'm going to order my copy of the book as soon as we're done, I promise. So support the creators. And how did you come to get involved with?
Okay, so I was actually transferred to the library where Tim works at. And so I said, you know what? It's my break time. I'm gonna go ahead and do my little hobby. So I was actually working on a Filipino comic book. So I was drawing on my tablet, and Tim was like, "Hey, it looks like you're a good illustrator. You draw pretty cool stuff." So I said, did you want to start a project together? Tim mentioned that he wrote a book in 1998 about a bird named Bobby, and I was like, "Hey, do you have the script or the whole storyline?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, I'd like to experiment with it." Because I've been studying comic books and read comics, anime, mangas, as well as animation for about ever since Comic Con, I guess. I was exposed to that in San Diego. So Tim was like, "Yeah, here's the whole script," and I played along with it. And I said, Tim, we could do a self-publishing since it's so easy nowadays. I also was reading not a local author, but someone I listened to in a podcast. And she published her book for Barnes and Noble, and I said, I'm a member of Barnes and Noble, so I could probably do the same thing, and it's possible. And I was just like, wow, there's a lot of hard work put into there, hours of drawing, determination, self-doubt.
Yes.
But if there's a possible way, I know for sure we could accomplish it. And boom, April, we did it. We finished the drawing, the illustration, and the editing within a month or so. And then from there, we did the process, and it wasn't easy because they need a lot of formatting. And but I think if you meet your desire or what your goal is halfway, the world is gonna lend you resources along the way. So I went ahead and played along with it, and I feel very aligned to accomplishing this goal of producing this book.
That's awesome, and that's really kind of the heart of what Creators Assemble does, is help kind of keep that inspiration going, when you're kind of indie and starting out, and that whole self-doubt that you talked about. So we can jump right in. If both of you want to talk about like your processes, like Tim, did you write every day? And Ben, before this, were you sort of drawing daily? And then also, if you want to, after that, talk about self-publishing in terms of, is there any particular resources or anything that you think that someone brand new should know that you wish you had known? So if you guys want to get into that.
Go ahead, Tim, go first.
Well, I think that as far as writing goes, follow your muse. One of the things that I would do is that this process of writing a book would come in bits and pieces. I'd be out on a walk, and I would think of a phrase or a verse, and I'd say, "Well, I got to remember that and write that down." Get back to where I was and write it down, and then add the verse to the ongoing story. Once you got that done, then play around with the verses to see which way they fit and how they work, and go from there. And then doing that for a little while, you pretty much you crank out some pages and you've got a book. But it is the discipline that you have to sit down and get that done. If it's done right, it can write itself.
On my side, I'd been drawing ever since I was a child. I was also a model for life drawing. And I've done sculpture, clay, all these art media. I was exposed to that, and storyline was really something. I guess my weakness. I'm more of the visual person, so if you have something, I'd probably work around that and dig into that, as well as use the element of surprises. I think that's what creates like a great story. For me, what else can I say? I feel like Tim, has that. I agree with Tim that if you have that muse or that inspiration, I think you should act on it immediately, because once you lose that, it's not there. It's not there. You can't work onto drawing or finishing that line. I'm really happy that Tim actually has several stories besides this one. We're in the progress of that already. And Tim really has this energy of like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And here's all the great ideas. And I said, Tim, you better write that. And he did. He actually have several stories about San Diego, and the book that we have now, the Blue-footed Lark of Balboa Park, is very local, very organic, and we sold, I would say, 40 plus copies already. Friends and family of mine, one of them is from Florida, and she said, I used to be in San Diego, and I'm so happy that I have a part of San Diego with me in Florida, that this thing exists, this Balboa Park exists, and it's magical, and it's a place that everyone should go to. And I think what Tim was telling me the other during the process, the beginning of this book, was that it's not just the San Diegans local that grew up here that would like this book, but also the tourists, because it's kind of like when you go to Disneyland or Disney World, you bring something with you, whether it be a souvenir or a story, or a photo. But look at this book, this children book that you could enjoy for generations to come. And so I said, Tim, I'm gonna play around with this book, and so I created stickers for this book. I created pencil holders for this book. Let me grab my pencil holder.
I'm adoring the enthusiasm.
So here is Bobby on the little nest.
Oh my gosh.
We thought it would be great to have blue pen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So cute.
So when we posted that I was making stuffed animals, I was burned out. Because I made about 15 plus plush animals hand sewn, and I also did bobby pins, which we kind of like a pun, like bobby pin.
Bobby pins.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, I enjoy the process. I know Tim, in the other hand, kind of stresses out sometimes, but I think when you put out the energy of like, this is a fun process and I'm gonna keep going with this, and there's nothing putting us down. We've been connecting with the UT reviews, librarians, and other higher up admins. But to humbly say that this book is ours, that we started this book, is a treasure to keep. To me, it doesn't matter, if we make a lot or if it was sold a lot. But how Tim was like, I want $1 million. Of course, that would be nice. But I'm with Tim. But money, it creates a business, creates an opportunity. It's like an energy that going on with my Reiki, side. This book is like an energy. It's warm. It's enjoyable. It's beautiful. It came from us, and now we want to share it to the world. And the world will share that to the other person, and it will just create this warm, wonderful feeling that we all felt when we created and looked at this book. And lastly, for self-publishing who is new, we did read into the research of like what to publish, how to publish the book, and how do we gain our rights. Our boss actually even printed out partnership between me and Tim to sign of agreement wise in case Tim or I bail out at some point. We did have a 50% profit or loss on this. And with Barnes and Noble, it's new on their side. Their Barnes and Noble Press is new. 2019 is when they started. So we looked up, interesting. We looked up self-publishing authors, how they came about publishing their books, and there was a lot of miscommunication, I would say, on their part. And not to put them down, but it's so new that and with the pandemic hitting, it's like it's hard to get a lot of people keep the press moving with the publishing and whatnot. But we did buy our ISBN number via I think broker publication, and then it was like around $200, and that's all our rights. And then self-publishing, how they always say, I mean, sometimes I look at this too, self-publishers, like, what? Who published your books? And it's like a fictitious name they made up because I
Yeah.
can't Google it. I'm like, who is this? I want to publish my book with their publisher. But then so we came up with our own publisher's name with our just nickname Bintim. And then from there, we were the one who formatted what Barnes and Noble wanted on their site, how it should be formatted. They give you the proof afterward. They give you the sizing of how you would format it in there. It was a lot of process, a lot of waiting due to I'm guessing because of the pandemic wise, and I assume a lot of self-publishing authors are as
Yeah.
well, in the line. So we were lucky enough to talk to local Barnes and Noble employees who actually would give us entity or a person who we would contact with if we have any conflict. But other than that, our book is selling. We're just waiting for more people to, grab us for author talk, for events, for story time. I also
Story
create,
time. There you go.
yeah, I made my own cosplay of Bobby. So when you guys are ready. So yeah, that's from my side.
Nice. No, that's great. That's great to hear about the Barnes and Noble Avenue. Just again, as a nonprofit that helps with those kind of resources. My husband keeps thinking that Creators Assemble in some capacity is going to end up publishing eventually because we have been technically putting out books, but I don't know, capacity wise, I don't think we're ready. When you talk about all the work, I'm just like, I'm glad somebody else is doing that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes. A lot of work. A lot of
Yeah.
work. But
I'm glad you had the support you needed though.
it is a lot. It is a lot easier today to get a book printed out than it was back in the day.
Yeah.
I met a lady, retired librarian. Her name is Evelyn Cooperman, and she created a book some years back on San Diego trivia. And she sent me some notes on, giving me some tips and tricks on where we can go to get press releases and how you go about them. And this is how they look. But, looking at her notes back then when she was doing that, there was this was before the internet, or the internet was just in the infancy of where it is today. And there was probably about 10 or 20 times the amount of work that you had to crank out than you do today.
Yeah.
For publishing a book. And there are more and more companies every day that are offering what they call print upon demand. That is, if you want a book, they print out a book. If you want 5 books, they'll print out a book. A lot of the things that were also happening in the past is that they would overprint a book. So if they had no idea what demand was, so they'd say, "Oh, let's print 1,000 copies." Well, if only 200 people bought the book, now you have 800 copies just lying around going, this way right here, it saves money too.
That was really smart advice your supervisor gave too about the agreement. And I just want to put that out there for indie creators. And I know like your friends are friends and whatever else, but that's how you keep friends too, is you have those agreements in place. I work with publishers in my day job, and it's a lot of the back and forth, and it's not the fun thing, but it's something that you do have to think about and where to find the best advice for it. And also like you guys are doing the self-promotion. You can't just put something into the world and expect that it's going to do well. You actually have to put work behind it even after you're finished working on it. So as you both know, sounds like you guys are doing the other
side of the business. Yeah.
That's the business side of the business for sure. I want to ask too, do you guys have so you made all these really cute, like the things that you just showed in the cosplay and the pens and the stickers. Are those for sale somewhere? Are those also on Barnes and Noble?
So they're not on in Barnes and Noble. I just thought it would be a fun because I've done a lot of outreach for the library.
Yeah.
And I would do balloon animals to lure kids and family in to buy our used books for the friends. And I thought, it'd be a cool gig to have some swags or merchandise along with the book. It's not part of the Barnes and Noble, but it'd be, just to support the local author. Some of it, what we were planning was that if we were partnering with a company who would give us like a free author talk or some kind of event, whatever proceed we had with the book or the merch, we would, as well as give some to them. So the merch and the little cute stuff are just extras to to lure and promote us. But yeah.
I love it. You guys are just so smart about all this. Now, the library connection, have you had any, or the local boost? Like, you've had your supervisor give advice, but are you guys actually going to get your books into libraries? Have you talked to Balboa Park about like maybe a gift shop where you're selling the book? What's going on?
I've been doing reconnaissance at Balboa Park, and I've gotten some names of people to contact. I have
Good.
set the ball rolling and currently just waiting for them to get back to me.
Good. They'd be silly, not that I'm going to besmirch anybody, but if they don't see the value in having something about Balboa Park and like you guys were talking about with the timeless appeal, and they need that for sure.
Well, that's also something else too, with the pandemic, we're just coming out of, everybody's wanting to get out. Everyone is Bobby. Everyone's sick of their cage and they want out. So why not go to Balboa Park, breathe in some fresh air, see some beautiful sights, take the kids, have a nice picnic, and enjoy the park for what it is. It's just a wonderful jewel of San Diego. And when I was talking to one of the gift shop owners and down in Balboa Park, she was like, "Oh, this is a wonderful book. There are no books like this about Balboa Park." And so when you look up books on Balboa Park, they're all travel books. They'll tell you about the museums, they'll tell you where and they, but there's not a specific story, a kid story about Balboa Park. And this is just something, as myself walking around Balboa Park, I'm seeing tons and tons of families with little kids that would just love this, love to look for Bobby. Instead of a snipe hunt, you now have a Bobby hunt. You look around and see, oh wow, that's where Bobby was, and he was over here, and you just go on this wonderful little scavenger hunt and just see how their eyes light up when they see something in a book that's actually in real life that they can go up to.
That's really cute.
Well, I did send emails as well as try contacting I believe Balboa Park Cultural Partnership, as well as the Balboa Park contact information on their website. Nothing so far from their side, but we did have UT. We did got in contact with a UT person. We sent them a copy of our book, so hopefully they could do a UT review. We also did send a copy of our book to our own library. Their status was that they're in the process of seeing what would happen to this book. One of our I believe higher up admins, Mark Cherry, he emailed everyone about this new book, but from one of their two of their employees. He did mention on one particular email that it will be in the author exhibit for local author this September, hopefully. But for me, I'm ready to roll for any event. I'm excited for what's out there because we barely opened. I'm pretty sure the ball will just keep rolling once we all open fully. I'm ready to, if Balboa Park wants me to set up a table, I'm willing to go out there. I'm very good at marketing, so I'm pretty much down for exposure. The phone call I received earlier was actually a phone call for, guess what, Tim? So the drag queen story time for the San Diego Public Library, they canceled their show, so I'm gonna be the backup, and we're gonna read our book.
Oh, awesome!
Awesome.
Yep. So at the Kensington Library, I believe June 10th, Saturday, I'll be there.
July 10th.
July 10th.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I was like, we already missed it. Okay. Very awesome. No, and look at that, exclusive. You heard it here first, people. So Universe audience, they're ready, they're willing. Come have them talk. What I'm also hearing is everybody visit Balboa Park and throw a fit when you don't see the book there and act like you, wait, I knew this great book. I thought I could buy it here. I'm gonna do that. I'll have the kids cry a little bit. I think that'll just make a big scene until they get more of the books in or have any of the books in. I think that's a good idea.
I also created like a QR code business card, and I'll have bobby pins with it. And so I'm like, if our book doesn't go well, I'll just pass it around Balboa Park. They'll scan the code and buy the book, I hope. But
Tim, you
yeah.
hitched your wagon well with this one.
Oh,
You're
I
going
can
to
see
take
it.
some
Yeah.
effort.
Ben is very talented.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. All right. So that's pretty much everything. If you all want to tell me where a website, social media, if you're interested in where we can find you, and anything else you want the audience to know, and then we'll be good.
Well, if you are interested in this book, you can buy it online through Barnes and Noble at barnesandnoble.com. You type in the title, Blue-footed Lark, Balboa Park, or my name, Timothy Mountain. It should bring you up to the site where you can purchase this. And if you do, thank you very much. Both Ben and I really appreciate your support. And from what I've heard from a lot of people that have read this to little ones, they love it. They want you to read it again and again. And so we've got we're getting replies from all over the country about this.
Also, if you can't go on the Barnes Noble website, you could call your local Barnes Noble and ask them to order it for you and deliver it to their store. If you're a member, it's free shipping. Also, if you'd like to have this book in your local library, make a title suggestion for your local library. Hopefully, you guys will be able to see our book someday or read it. And if you're a San Diego local, we would sign it for you.
That's awesome. I need mine signed. So you're gonna, when you have your first author talk, I'll bring my copy and we'll have you sign it.
Definitely get it signed for you.
All right. So that you heard it here, folks. Super excited. And thank you both so much for coming to this little chat. I'm really glad that you guys are here. I'm really glad that we can hopefully help boost this book and get the word out about it.
Thank you.
And then, yeah, super, super cool. And anytime you guys want to.
Thank you, Monty. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So we are at creatorsassemble.org, and we exist in large part to help with any kind of creative endeavors like this. So please check us out. And we also have some upcoming events on our Creators Assemble Twitch, which is going to be role-playing games as we work on our toolkit to teach librarians and teachers the learning outcomes of RPGs in their classrooms and libraries. So going to be a fun summer. And with that, thank you both so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.